Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and we're here in Marcus Filly's garage gym, former CrossFit Games athlete and founder of Functional Bodybuilding. And today, he's gonna show us his epic indoor and outdoor garage gym.
Let's check it out.
We are here in beautiful California to see Marcus Filly and his awesome home gym. Also, we're gonna be doing a studio gym walkthrough. So if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe because that's gonna be coming. But let's start with the flooring. Why'd you end up going with these?
Well, we partner with Eleiko Fitness. Like this is their premier, tile that they sell. It feels like good cushioning.
Yep.
And I just think it's like the look of it looks really premium, which is exactly what we wanted to have all throughout our gym. If you drop a barbell, it might pop up a little bit and shift, and you just kind of have to step on it.
Awesome. Yeah. One of the reasons I actually started my home gym was because of you and OPT. I was training for CrossFit at the time, and you guys would talk about lower steady state training on like an air bike in the morning. I found an Airdyne, and that was like my first piece of equipment, and I would do 40 minutes on the bike. I would do 40 minutes on the bike in the morning. I was like, OPT, Big Dog's blog, Marcus Filly's doing this stuff. I was like, I'm gonna do this.
I mean, I learned CrossFit, but then to become a better athlete in the sport, I learned you have to do cardio.
Yeah.
And you have to do it often and long, and it's pretty boring. Yep. So make it as convenient as possible. So yeah, getting an Airdyne, like to me, that was like a high priority in getting a home gym, and probably before I had all of the other tools and fun things. I had a fan bike, I had a Bikerg, I had a ski-erg, I had a rower.
I noticed that, you guys will notice this too, he has these tables on top.
Yeah.
So this is for somebody who probably does a lot of what they say they do, which is the steady state, lower intensity. Because I've seen videos of you, you'll just put like your laptop on there and do work.
I'm fit, I train a lot, but I also sit for like many hours of the day, or I'm at my desk so many hours of the day, and it's like I don't want to be like sedentary, 8 hours of the day if I can avoid it.
I think the principle here also, especially for home gym owners, is you don't just have to like move at one time of the day where it's like, all right, this is my workout. The rest of the day, I'm sitting at my chair. I did my workout. I'm good. Like the idea of this, especially that's nice for people that work at home and have a home gym, is use the equipment throughout the day. Which piece out of all of these would you recommend as like the first cardio piece for a home gym?
I would definitely go with a bike.
Okay.
And it depends on how you're gonna like use the bike. For steady state, I'm a big fan of just the Bikerg because it's very easy to control like your intensity because you're just using the lower body. Like this can get a little out of hand for people if they're like, they don't really understand steady state cardio. They're like trying to do too much and you can jack up the heart rate super fast. But on the same token, that's a good reason to make it your first bike if you want to use it for like functional fitness or high intensity stuff. This you can get super high intensity. This is difficult. It's like you get this local muscle quad failure and leg failure before you get the full body like compounding effect of like, a high intensity deal. So this was actually where I started for years. I've gravitated more towards this as like my main bike that I like to go to.
Cool.
And then the other tool that I really recommend is the rowing machine. Once you put in the time to learn the mechanics of rowing, it's just so versatile.
Sure.
High intensity, steady state, plus it's full body, and it just really can't be replicated by anything else. So rowing machine after this would be a place to start.
So if you want to check if somebody uses theirs, we can go to the summary and lifetime meters. I don't know if you've ever looked at this.
No.
Okay, so you've got 16,303,477 meters and over 674 hours he spent on this thing. Like this is one piece of equipment he has in his gym. Yeah. So you can have as much equipment as you want, but hard work you can't replace. So like, dude, that's legit. Dude.
And this is a home gym thing only. It was never at the facility and then here.
Okay, this video is brought to you by Future. I've been using Future for literally over a year, 300 plus workouts and lots of weight lifted. I like it so much We did a review on it. People were like, Coop, that seems like an ad. It wasn't, but because people accused me of making money off it, I might as well just make some money off it. So that's why we're doing a future ad. But I don't just like it, I've gotten other people on it as well. Nathan, the guy behind the camera, also uses it. I've got my wife using it. Future is awesome. It's a training platform that uses an app that allows you to have a personal coach that is texting me. My guy's name is Morton, and I really like him. Shout out Morton. But if you'd like to start using Future for your training, they're offering a discount just for GGR followers at the link below the like button for $19 a month for your very first month. So if you'd like to join me on Future, then hit the link in the bio. Tell me about what you've got here. This is a Eleiko rack, but walk through, you know, why you went with this, why you went with the space, the size of it, and everything like that.
And working with a company, like my mission with them is to, you know, add value to them as they're adding value to us by giving us equipment. And they're like, hey, we've gone this route of researching like what are the problem areas of the traditional 3x3 rack and what can we upgrade in this. They're just nice touches that make, you know, the little annoyances of like the traditional rack that I was using before, like a non-existent anymore.
Yep, I know people love the big power rack, but I have no problem working out of the front. I've never felt in danger. Half safety spotters are easy to adjust. For me, I love, and you're probably the same way, because you got a lot of floor space. Yeah. Like I love being able to have a lot of floor space in my garage gym because I want a place to move. Yeah. Me personally, I'd rather have less equipment, but nicer things, and your setup kind of shows that example too.
And one other thing is like, you know, as a coach with people over the years, so like we live in this county and we've made so many friends through fitness. And now we have an online business, but I still like to connect with people in person. So we have like groups of friends that come over. Cool. I wanted there to be enough space for us to like train with other people. Again, you have to be mindful, like don't fill up your floor with immovable objects like this. You know, if you had 2 squat racks in here or something even bigger, it would definitely cut out on that.
So you've got, I see Rogue 2.0 bar. This is an Eleiko bar. You've got curl bar, Rogue, that looks like a Bella bar, and then you've got a bamboo bar, which is the only specialty bar you have in here.
I've got a trap bar, and I also have an axle bar down there.
Okay.
And then in the outdoor area, we have a couple more bars.
I don't see a safety squat bar, which is often pretty popular. Out of all the bars you could choose, why go with these in addition to the straight bars you've got?
The easy bar, you know, I just like having access to that on the weekends for whatever reason. The weekend feels like a good time to do like get a good arm. Of course. So it wasn't so much like I want to purchase that for my home gym. It was I've got the pick of, you know, a bunch, and these are the ones that I want to pull back and use here. So like heavy squatting days, you know, typically happen at the gym.
Cool.
And I will, you know, that's why I want to have the safety squat bar down there.
How often are you doing barbell type movements versus like a lot of unilateral stuff with say a landmine or kettlebell, dumbbell? Like how do you think about the percentage of your training?
It's always about 50-50 on any given day. So I'm always using a combination of both. There's a barbell lift or something that I will like term in functional bodybuilding, like these are our intensity strength training pieces. Cool. And then we have like strength balance or quality accessory pieces that we do. Sweet. And it's really to just like emphasize, we got to put in effort to see change. Then we also have to like dial effort back and really focus on quality of movement. And getting barbells out of people's hands and using dumbbells and kettlebells, it's much easier to like disconnect from the ego. Like, okay, I'm just here to like get good quality reps. Whereas like, you know, if you put a barbell on someone's back, it just starts to ramp up that like intensity factor for them. So every day there's a little bit of both.
So over here, medicine ball, kettlebells, dumbbells, you got a mixture here.
Again, this goes back to Eleiko Sport decided to partner with us. And so this is when they were releasing this sort of, you know, galvanized steel equipment set that was not going to be rusting in your backyard in the weather. So I got a rack, and then I got a storage rack as well, which was outside. And then I pulled this to the new house when we moved here. And so that's why it's this as opposed to, you know, something that maybe matches what we have going on in the garage.
Cool. You mentioned moving to this house about a year ago or so. How much did you think about your garage gym, the outdoor gym, into buying the house? Was it just like, I'll just fit it in wherever? Or were you like, no, like, we're not going to buy this house, or we are buying this house because it would be a great setup?
It was a big portion of like how I looked at properties, how we looked.
So I'm not the only one.
And then you get in and you're like trying to figure it all out, how it's actually going to work once you're here. You know, it's like I'm the guy that goes to like the showing of the new house and walks directly into the garage.
Totally.
Everyone else is going and looking at bedrooms and looking at kitchens, and I'm like, and so how do I get into the garage?
Yeah. Okay, let's come over here. So
Sure.
I see a few items. You've got some ATG buddies.
These are basically like, I'm just gonna give him a quick plug here.
Sure, yeah,
quick shout out. Ben is, if y'all don't know him, he's the knees over toes guy. Super inspirational and mentor-like figure, but we have a good relationship. But
cool.
These are basically squat wedges, so throw them under your heels. Ben's message is basically, you know, our joints function in the range that we use them. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, you want your knees to be healthy, then start doing full range squats. Obviously in CrossFit, we weren't using those to like compete. We had to get really used to just squatting in our Olympic lifting shoes and our flats.
Yeah.
But now for me, it's like, it's more about getting in great positions and being strong in those positions. And if these like tools help you get there and help you like keep this really great range of motion in your knees and keep them strong, then I'm all for it.
So over here we've got, I guess you'd consider these machines.
These are all like kind of the specialty benches that they sent, and having something that allows you to really focus on like posterior chain strength and training. Especially if you can get something that's great for like knee flexion. This one's from Freak Athlete, and I think this is maybe under $300.
Takes up no space.
And it takes up no space, and it's really secure. This, I think, is probably one of the most underappreciated tools that's out there. I mean, I think Ben Patrick also really kind of cemented that into my brain. He uses it a lot in his training, but so much use out of this since I got it.
Sure.
And that was like one that like I wasn't even thinking of sending me, because they're like, oh, you probably don't want one of those. And I was like, I really want one of these. I have one here, I have one at the studio.
Would you recommend a hyperextension over a GHD for most people if they only had one spot?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. The resistance profile on this for hip extension is better than that.
Yeah.
And for if you want to do like Nordics on there, it's like you should do them on this. This is really where you can build a tremendous amount of strength.
Before we leave here, I noticed you've got some sound tools. You've got Sonos.
Yeah, when we moved into the house, it was actually wired in a lot of the rooms in the backyard for sound, and they sound terrific. And you know,
that was just the garage. But wait, there's more.
Having this is like something that can be used year round.
Okay, so how often are you training in the garage versus out the garage?
Yeah, it's twice a week that we're always training at home.
Okay.
It's just nice to have like whatever I need to train is here or wherever I'm gonna be.
Yep.
Typically, if we're gonna train out here, try and get as much of it done out here as possible, and then just drag pieces of equipment out here as needed. Like all those benches pretty much have wheels on them. They can slide out here. Obviously the cardio machines can come right out here. So typically it'd be like 2 cardio machines, 2 barbells, you know, and me and my wife are doing our workout and mixing in all the stuff out here.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer, it's like we just love getting the sunshine, you know, work out outside, get a little tan, get some vitamin D, just like good for the soul.
Something you mentioned is training with your wife and your kids' like involvement in your training. That's a big reason I have a home gym. It's a big reason people start home gyms.
That's right. It's interesting because like many people are like trying to get their workouts in on the weekdays so that the weekends can be family time. We love to train on the weekends because we're not in a rush. We're not having to do a bunch of things. Yeah. It kind of creates like this great environment for us on the weekend where me and my wife love to interact around training, and we love to like not feel rushed with like our workouts.
Awesome. Okay, so show us the equipment.
I actually pulled down a chunk of my rig from the gym and brought it to my house, and I had about a concrete pad about this big, and I bolted it in, and that was a Rogue, a Monster Light Rogue rig. Yeah. And within, you know, a few months, it was already starting to rust. Yeah. And the steel bars that I had were like completely rusted.
They're bare steel. Yeah.
And that was when I started to have conversations with Eleiko, and they were saying, hey, you know, we got something that I think you might really enjoy, which is this like essentially rust-proof, you know, rig.
Yeah. So you've got plates over here. Just makes it easy to grab, I'm guessing.
These were the plates that I used at my old outdoor gym, and so you can see they're really weathered. These were not really designed to be outside, but you know, I knew that was going to happen. This was the other thing, having a rack that was going to allow me to kind of just put it out in the center of the patio and get good lighting and be able to like actually film educational content and stuff like that. So I had them send me this as well. But this unit right here, like when I was back at my old house, like I did 90% of my training just with this and those rubber tiles. Okay. So when I talk about like setting up your home gym, it's like this is a great place to start. You know, getting 4 to 6 of these larger rubber tiles, and then, you know, a set of plates and a bar. You can do a ton.
Are you doing a lot of sled work? Is that a big part of your training?
It's a small part of my training here at home, because we have a really nice turf setup at the studio.
Okay, and then one other part I'd like to show is your...
Let's go. It's the thermal pressure zone.
Is this a 4-person or 2-person?
It's a 2-seater.
This is the ideal setup.
Oh yeah.
Like, you may think you want more space. The reality is, if you're going to use it, you want to heat it up quick and hot. Having it smaller, this is the way.
And that's exactly why I got this exact setup. Get the 2-seater, get the upgraded heater.
Yep.
And then literally this thing is hot in under 15 minutes. So I'll go in here in the mornings for about 20 to 30 minutes. The research is like 4 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes or longer. You max out the benefits, or like you hit these like high yield, decreases in all-cause mortality. So I'm like, okay, I'll get that in.
Cool.
And then I jump right into this guy afterwards. So this is the cold plunge, and I usually keep it like in the low 40s.
Okay.
But I recently cranked it up a little bit higher, like warmer.
Yeah.
Because my wife was like, I want to start getting in, but she needed to like, you need to kind of gradually get in.
Yeah.
And I swear, 48 at this is like a 42 still cold plunge.
It is, yeah.
Because this thing has water circulating in it, and especially down by your feet, doesn't matter which way you face, like there's water moving past your legs, and it just feels that much colder.
This sauna, what brand is it? Is it Dundalk or?
This is Almost Heaven.
Almost Heaven, okay. Yeah, you can get those Costco from their site, Almost Heaven, you can get them anywhere. Okay, is there anything else in your space that I've missed? We
got different bikes over here. So we got a mountain bike, is a big part of my weekly fitness routine. I mean, I mountain bike at least twice a week. There's a trailhead, and it takes you all the way up into this pretty epic network of trails. You could ride from here anywhere in the county on trails if you really wanted to. It's pretty cool.
The most interesting thing I'm taking from being here, it's very similar to me in that fitness is a part of my life. So like, why would you not have a home gym setup? If you can afford it, if you have the space, have some sort of equipment at your home that you can use, but not only that, have equipment that you can use throughout the day, or live in a space in which like fitness can be a part of your life. So I'm guessing that this spot was important because you had trail system right behind you. Like, I'm sure that was a big selling point.
Yeah.
So I understand not everybody can do that, but if you have the means and the ability, being able to just set up your life in such a way that allows you to get your fitness in just naturally is just such a benefit. It's so much more difficult when you create friction, because you're just less likely to do it.
And a lot of people will see this video, or they'll hear all about all the things that we have, and it's like, oh, if only I could.
You
you're
didn't
so
start
lucky.
with that though,
And I am very lucky and fortunate, and I don't discredit that, but this has been an intention that I've had for almost 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
I had a vision where I was like, I'm going to do exactly what you just said. I'm going to create the least amount of friction between me and movement.
Yeah.
And even still, like now, like, oh, you've got it all. What else could you want? I'm like, well, I still am dreaming up ways to make it even more integrated into life. Every step of the way, it's become less and less and less of an impact because I set that intention.
Yeah.
And if fitness is an impact on your life and your family's life, you're going to get pushback. And it's going to be harder if you care about your family, which most people do, that it's going to be harder to make that sacrifice and that trade-off to go and work out versus do something with them.
Yep.
So if you can really minimize how much friction there is there, it's just, you're going to be more fit, and you're going to be happier about it, and you're going to be a better, husband, wife, father, mother, whatever it is.
Yeah, and the other thing is your kids are seeing you train just a part of your life, so they're growing up with that. So rather than it being for a lot of people where it's like, all right, my parents go to the gym, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
They just leave, or they go to work, I don't know what that is. It's just part of their life. And so they understand, like, that's just the natural rhythm in which we should all live. And I think that's a great principle you're leaving for your kids, which they'll, I'm sure, then adopt, and it's just like the whole family lineage can be healthy.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, well, thank you for showing us your space.
My pleasure.
We're gonna go see the studio gym now, so if you'd like to see that, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see any of Marcus Philly's content, we'll make sure to put a link below the like button to his channel. I personally subscribe and have for some time, not just saying that because you're here. I followed your stuff for a long time. But this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. Thank you, Marcus. We'll see you next time. Peace.